Hey guys.
Hi.
How is everybody? It's been quite a while.
It's been a month.
I feel like every time we come back we're like, oh, it's been like a month. But I don't know what to say except from we're busy.
Yeah. We're very busy. And it's like we try to we do pre-record,
Yeah.
but then it gets so busy. Like I feel like we actually need to do a full season in advance before posting them to actually be able to keep up. But
what have we been up to?
we've had new talent. I've signed on quite a lot of
Yeah.
new talent. My agency is consolidated. I don't really know what word I would use to say, but it's
going
been
well.
thriving.
It's also really busy just now because it's literally like peak season, like it's June, which means that
We're getting ready to go to London for work stuff.
yes, and it's just constant emails.
I think it's
all
like
day,
the
every day.
busiest time of year from now until November.
Oh yeah, for sure,
This
which is
is
great.
definitely peak.
Yeah, which is great, but it's a lot.
It is hectic.
I did a shoot yesterday, which was interesting. Actually, being the person in front of the camera for once.
Little model.
Yeah, I actually did really enjoy it because I did a shoot literally in 2019, so 4 years ago, and I remember literally being like a rabbit in headlights, being like,
Yeah.
and even when I did my headshots back in January, I was like, but I felt a lot more confident yesterday. And my makeup was great by Karen McCallum, and my hair was great by Pandoc, so shout out to them because I love that.
I feel like you have an actual glam team. Like you've got to go, like you get your makeup done, you've got a hair girl, you've got a makeup girl. I don't. The other thing is though, I feel like there's a lot more creative makeup, hair, beauty type of people between like you and Glasgow.
Yeah, although I also think that you are better at doing your makeup and your hair than I am at doing my makeup and my hair.
That is
like
true.
you are like, you're a beauty girl. You did makeup.
Yeah, I was a makeup artist.
Exactly.
And I trained in hair as well.
Yeah, whereas like I can't even curl my hair properly.
Oh, it was when you told me you wanted to try and do the Pamela Anderson updo, but you didn't even want to attempt to practice
no.
it yourself.
I've tried it since, and I've had it done to like by hairstylist twice, and I had to do it myself, and I failed.
See, I just think that's so easy. That I'm like, I still cannot get over the fact in London that you paid someone to come to your hotel to do your hair for that.
I've had it done 3 times then, and when I got it done in London, it was twice the price. So yeah, a girl came to the hotel to do my hair when I got it done in London. Life has been good. I've just been living young, wild, and free.
Yeah, I feel like you're finally starting to have a good work-life balance.
Yeah.
And like you're putting yourself out there more in social situations, like going to things that you probably wouldn't. Like last time, I mean, we're going to be talking about burnout.
Mm-hmm.
So we both know how like we say yes to every single work
Yeah.
commitment and like overexert ourselves work-wise. I feel like lately you've been saying no to more work stuff, doing less and more personal social stuff.
I think as well, like obviously we're literally going to go into talk about this in a minute, but I've been a lot more picky about what brand events I'm going to go to, or even like see when I take on gifting, a lot of the time I would just take most of the gifting. If it was clothing, I would take most of it, whereas now I feel like I'm a bit more picky.
Yeah.
But that's because more opportunities have like opened themselves up to me where I'm working with brands that are maybe a bit more
higher end.
Yeah,
like
more my style.
Having a shift from lower quality, lower price types of brands to more higher end, more luxe, more...
Yeah, which don't get me wrong, I'm really lucky that they will gift me stuff. Like, I went to an event with Joe Malone last month. Guys. What?
Yeah, that was insane.
No, like... See, when they asked me, I was literally like, nah. Because that's like...
It's... I feel like for someone your age and how young you are, at the same time you're also like a 45-year-old woman. Like your interests and the brands you like to shop at, I'm like, there's stuff that my mum and her friends shop at.
But that's because
yeah,
I think that's, I'm not going to say it's the way I've been brought up, because I've certainly not been brought up with, like, designer things or anything like that.
No.
But, like,
You do like...
love high-end toiletries.
I'm like, I don't mind if I go to Boots and pick up a collection concealer. Whereas I feel like you're like Charlotte Tilbury. You know, like you know what you like, and you like to spend a bit more on your beauty and all that because it's what you like. Whereas I'm like, yeah, it's a bit shit, but it will do.
I've been using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, actually, guys, and I'm a big fan. I personally, on my socials, don't want to work with, like, fast fashion brands, really.
I say, like...
difficult, but...
It is, because, like, clothing-wise, it's harder, but I guess, like, you do work with, like, House of CB and Nadine Marabi and... like
basically
even gym clothing and sweats and stuff.
Yeah.
You work with...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, higher, smaller boutique brands, whereas I'm like Pretty Little Thing and New Look and stuff. But to be fair, like, I don't really work with that many clothing brands. Like, I work with the same, like, 4. And that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like something we can go into, like, a completely separate day. Like, I will never ever work with Shein. And it's like Shein and Cider and all those type of brands, not for me. That's where I draw my line.
Yeah.
But that's a chat for another day.
For sure. But burnout.
Burnout. Today's episode is about burnout and how we burn out.
Yes.
Like, we're pros at burnout. I feel like...
We have been very much pros at burnout, yeah.
I feel like everyone experiences burnout in some way or another, but I feel like anyone creative, like in a creative field, like, or like self-employed, you very much deal with burnout.
Because you don't know where to stop.
Yeah. And I feel like it was like almost a normalized thing at uni that you just have to like get on with keep going. And now I've brought that into my adult post-uni life, and I'm like, I don't actually know how to function anymore. And it's not until seeing Cami, my boyfriend, in a 9 to 5. He works from home, but he's in the office 2 days a week, but still at home. Like, he has very clear boundaries for his work. Like, once he finishes work, he finishes work. He does not experience burnout, and it's the wildest thing to me, because I thought it was normal. Like, being around other uni students and flatmates who were also doing like the same degree that I was, and we were always working 24/7. I feel like this last like 2 years I've been like, this is not normal.
I know exactly what you mean. Should we explain what burnout is for people that might not really understand what we mean?
Yeah, you go for it.
How to explain burnout? It is essentially when you work so much, or you're dealing with so many different things, that you essentially hit a wall. And when we're saying creatively, it's almost like you can kind of hit a creative burnout where you've been like creative for such a long time that you hit a wall and you're like, you actually kind of, it's almost like, you know, when you're in a dream and you are like trying to run and you can't go anywhere. That's what it's like.
That's an interesting analogy.
Yeah.
I've got the definition of it.
Okay, go for it.
So it says, burnout is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion. It can occur when you experience long-term stress in your job, or when you have worked in a physically or emotionally draining role for a long time. Common signs of burnout include feeling tired or drained, helpless, trapped, and or defeated.
I think, especially dealing with emotionally challenging situations, I think that something that people might not realise about our job, did I just say our job?
I mean, with the accent, it sounds the same to me.
About our job is that you do kind of take on the emotional stress of others, because if a brand isn't replying, if a brand hasn't paid on time, and, you know, say your talent has bills to pay and there's physically nothing else you can do, those type of situations, like, you are kind of taking on the emotional dealings of another person, or if their content isn't performing and you're having to like kind of, I don't know, I feel like not as much recently because I've had to kind of draw a line between like emotions and work, but you do like take on a lot of other people's personal stress, I think.
I feel like when you work in any sort of job that's very person focused, you're gonna have that, especially if you're managing other people, because they are other people. They have feelings and emotions and stress and their own things.
Yeah.
And when you're someone like us, who, I mean, you're a self-proclaimed people pleaser.
Oh, yeah.
Who, like, has always put everyone else in her career, like, gone above and beyond for your employers, like, pushed yourself to the limits. I can't believe it's just started pouring with rain, by the way, guys. You're probably going to be able to hear that on the microphones.
Like, guys, I'm in a dress because it's literally been, like, 30 degrees.
It was so hot.
Not 30 degrees, 25.
I had a fan on, like, just before you came. And now the windows are getting absolutely pelted, so ignore that. Anyways.
Guys, I meant to go...
to a beach.
To a beach with a man. With a man, guys. With a man.
This episode is just going to be, like, my undiagnosed ADHD. Just
slightly chaotic.
Yeah. What were you saying? Yeah, so... like, when you're working with other people and dealing with other people, I think one thing my mum always says is that she can't believe that I manage so many girls, because drama and emotions and everything, and especially over text, a lot of, like, I speak differently over text than I do in person. Like,
you're so straightforward, by the way, on text.
I don't think I'm that straight.
Oh my god, girl. Like, sometimes I'm like, oh wait, is she annoyed at me? But I know
like,
you.
No, I know. Like,
but...
I remember when I was younger, like, set in the scene, my mum used to get really annoyed at me because I would never text her and be like, hi mum, how are you? How's your day going? What are you doing? What are you up to today? And then I'd go in with, like, so I need this, or can you do this?
Very direct.
I literally just go, I could not send any other message and just go, hey, can you send me this? Or, hey, can you do this for me today? Or,
direct.
Like, and I'm not thinking, like, oh, that's rude, or that's me being, like, blunt, or that's me going, I don't really care about the formalities. Like, I'm not going to sit here and, like, waste your time, or waste my time and be like, hi, how are you? I mean, I know that's the polite thing to do, but in my head, I'm not thinking about the social cues of, like, what I need to say or do. Anyways, so... like, I remember having, like, an argument in my teen years, like, with her about that. I mean, I say teen years, I'm pretty sure I was, like, 19. But, like, she was like, you're so rude. Like, you do, like, the test like this and that. You never ask me how I'm like, I ask you many, like, when you phone me, or I'm like, how are you? You know, that. But over text, I'm like, for me, speaking over the phone or in person versus in text is a completely different thing.
Yeah.
To me, I mean, no, that's going to sound quite bad. I was going to be like, I text like I type emails, but I don't. My emails, I make sure to put, like, the...
Hope you had a great weekend.
Yes, hope you had lovely weather you're having today. Hope it's not too hot in the office. Like,
literally, how many times has that been said this week?
Yeah,
so
I know. And, like, you know, I make sure to include those over emails, the social cues and, like, things that you should say to be polite. I have to remind myself to say them. It's not because I'm rude or anything.
You just want to get things
It's
done,
just like my brain just works differently.
Yeah.
So I will text so bluntly without even realising it.
Yeah. But people that know you know that, it's fine.
I know, but what was the point I was going to make about that? Oh yeah, trying to, like, manage girls and other people and things like that. Like, I say a over text, like, or I.
Oh my god, the other day you went I, and I literally was like, who is this?
I say that, I'm used to texting that with Cammy. And, like, saying that,
I can imagine him saying that.
But Cammy's like, you don't ever say that in person. But there's words, like, I'll be like girly or gals or like phrases that Sophie hates, and it's like,
I was gonna say that,
saying I will text those, so I text completely different to how I talk. It's just in my head for when I'm texting stuff.
Yeah.
It makes sense to talk in that tone of voice or way. But anyways, a lot of things can get misconstrued. Like, people can think that I could text you and you think that I'm angry at you or pissed, or I'm not. I mean, you know me, so that's what but, like, trying to manage talent like that, and people you've maybe not even met in person. Then, like, group chats of girls, because my talent are in a group chat. I don't know if yours are.
I kind of tried to do that, but there's reasons why I kind of think I'm not as keen on that anymore. But
yeah, see, I've got a group chat for all the girls, but it's more so just for group events. Or,
but mine are like...
Yeah, yours are all over. Only 3 of mine aren't based here. So I literally, and just before we start recording, put an invite for a salon launch thing next week for the girls with the RSVP link. And it's stuff like that, but also the girls will send messages into each other and hype each other up and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm like, when you have different chats of different girls and different people trying to manage their feelings and emotions and stress, or if there's, like, anything tense, like if a brand comes back and wants, like, revisions done to content, or the girls like not understanding what the brand wants and there's frustration.
Yeah.
It's so easy for us to like take that on and then just like exhaust ourselves.
A couple times I think it's been very difficult for me to, and I think I've said this before, to draw a line between friendship and
Yes.
Professional kind of situations, because there has been, not many times, because there are some talent that I have that are very keen to just have my straightforward advice and positive criticism. What's the word? Constructive criticism.
Yeah, constructive.
But there has been times where I have tried to help people and they have taken it entirely the wrong way, and have kind of been like, whoa, because like you say, I am a people pleaser, but I can't afford to be a people pleaser in situations where I think something hasn't been done right, or if I think someone needs to do more of something, I can't be like, no, you're doing great, or you're doing everything you possibly can, when I know that they're not, or if I know something is being total half-arsed effort. Like, I can't be a people pleaser and go, yeah, this is all perfect, you don't need to do anything. Does that make sense? Like, obviously I'll say it in a nice way, like, you know,
I just can't get over this rain.
Can you hear that? It
Yeah.
literally, the back of this is going to sound like a
Soothing
sleep.
rain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like listen to this episode when you're going to bed.
I know.
But what I think that's where you were saying how the relationship between like a friendship and work,
Yeah.
that's where the lines sort of get blurred, because it's almost as if sometimes your talent can forget that you're not their friend, you're their manager. So they might be coming to you just to vent, but in reality they need some advice or like a different perspective work wise to be like, this is obviously not working, here's what you need to do, and they don't want to hear that. But they have to remember at the end of the day, like it's a business
job.
Relationship.
Yeah, it's a business
it's your job,
relationship.
and you're only telling them that to help benefit the situation.
Yeah.
I think it's so hard because obviously the way we run our businesses is different, but we both have a good relationship with all of our talent, or try to have like close relationships with them all, and it from like working in other agencies and stuff where you don't really know the talent, or our management styles work best when we have like that one-on-one approach, and that comes with usually a friendship. So it can be hard to navigate, and I feel like that's when those type of issues can come up.
Yeah, and I think it's totally depends on people's personalities as well. I have a girl that I manage that I have worked alongside in the past, and we are very like straight up with one another, in the sense that I'm like, you do need to do more of this, or they're like, you need to do that again, like, and she'll go, yeah, I absolutely will if that's what you think. And I don't know, I think to have that relationship balance is difficult because there can be such different dynamics in terms of personality and things like that. But I think in the past that's what's led to a lot of burnout for me, is the difficulty of dealing with friendship and professional kind of situations. And another thing I think I just want to kind of touch on, and it's probably something that I have had to do in my life to prevent burnout, is that I think it's so important who you actually have in your life, because not even in a business sense, in a personal sense, if you have people in your life that they don't support what you do, or they complain at you for what you do if you're too busy, or I don't know, if they're not supportive, it's basically the bottom line. I've had to cut people off that are just, they don't get it, or because if you're around people that are being negative about what you're doing or putting extra pressure on you, it's gonna totally pile up, and you're gonna be led to, like, for me that's definitely why I was crashing and burning so much. But you're right, it's only been recently that I have kind of developed the work-life balance.
No, I definitely think that. I think there's a lot of factors that contribute to burnout. And I think for me specifically, like how I get burnt out is I'm working too much and not giving myself enough time to rest, like turn off my brain, like enjoy other media, like everything is work 24/7. That automatically just makes me a bit more anxious. Then I'm not sleeping as much, or not I'm up working until 1 o'clock in the morning, so then I'm not sleeping, so my sleep gets fucked, or I'm busy focusing on work, so I'm not eating properly, and then I'm eating like shit, or like not often enough and not good food. And then it's like a combination of all these different things together that then just make me physically and emotionally drained. Like, so it's like a combination of all of that results in my burnout. But it's almost like I know I'm burning out, or I'm getting to a stage of burnout, but I keep thinking like it's fine, like once I get through this I'll stop, or I'll be fine, or I'll do it. And it never is. It's like a weeks leading up to it type thing. But in my head it's always been a cycle for me. Like every 4 to 6 weeks I'll have a break or a crash, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, and I cry, and I'm like, I sleep for a whole day and whatever, and then I wake up again, and then I continue those habits, and then it builds up, and then the same thing happens. So I'm like, I'm in the middle of a burnout cycle now, but it's okay because I know my crash is coming in like a week or so, and I'm like, that's not normal.
I know.
Like, that I should not be doing that. So now I have set such clear boundaries. All my work stuff is off of my laptop.
Right.
I don't have my work emails, like none of that on my laptop, which sounds counterproductive because it's like, how do I work? I have a lovely iMac next to me in my desk in my office. So I have my emails already on here, so when I log on my computer they pop up, and that's it. Previously I would take my laptop and my work phone to bed. I would have it there first thing when I wake up in the morning. I pick up my work phone or my laptop and I check my emails. I send out a couple emails, I put it down, then I go and brush my teeth, like get showered, or start breakfast, while I'm having breakfast I'm on my laptop emailing, checking stuff, I'm messaging girls. And I would almost sometimes justify it of like, if I had a really, like if it was up till 2 a.m. the night before and I slept until 10 a.m, I have to have my laptop and stuff with me because it's 10 a.m, like things are going to be coming. Like I couldn't reset my brain or focus, be like, no, go to bed earlier and wake up, do your morning routine and do that, but don't touch emails until 10:30. Like don't log on to your work laptop until 10, like set hours. So my hours are still a little bit like wishy-washy, like whenever I want to, but it could be 9 a.m. some days, it could be 11 a.m. some days, I could finish at 5, I could finish at 4, I could finish at 7, but it's so much better than the 8 a.m. till 2 a.m. now. When I finish for the day, I finish for the day.
That's good. I still haven't used my work phone. Guys.
Eva, it's so bad.
I think that I was wanting an excuse to buy the new iPhone back in December.
That is 100% what it was.
Yeah, so in December I was like, I need to get a work phone, or I need to like get a new phone so I can use my old phone as my work phone. And I got it, and I haven't used it.
We always say like there's no point in working the weekends because no one replies to emails. But I was still working weekends. And I've actually now have my weekends, and it's kind of bad. Like it's been getting to the point where I'm like, oh, it's Monday tomorrow, like I'm gonna have to get up early and reply to emails. But I'm like, wait, this now actually feels like a real job. Because I'm not doing it 24/7. So I'm kind of like, I log out on Friday and I'm like, oh, I have 2 days where I don't have to like
I totally get
think about that. And it's crazy. Like it's shifted from being like, this is my baby and I need to like 24/7 put everything into it, to now like, oh no, I feel the same way I do about this now as any other job I've ever had.
I totally get you. I think that something for me, like when I think back to when I was actually at university and was like staying in uni halls, and I think back to my like routine then, this sounds unrelated but it's related. I would literally fall asleep at 3 in the morning and wake up at 1 p.m. When I think about that now, I'm just like, what? So I feel like now I've got myself into a good routine. Like I wake up, especially in summer, like 7, half 7 every day. I don't get out of my bed right away. But like, and I'm in bed most days by like half 10 at night. And I just think that it gives me anxiety if I'm not awake to answer emails or messages between like 9 and 11 in the morning, for example. For me, like work phone wise, that is something that I need to sort.
Because you've got all your chats on WhatsApp, but you've archived them.
Well, this is the thing, guys. My archives on WhatsApp consists of my work chats with, like, everyone. But I work off that. Like, I do go back and forwards. And every time I go into my archives, it's like work chats, men I've spoke to that things have failed with. It literally is.
You know you can delete, but you don't want to.
Babe, why would I delete? Toxic queen. So when I go on to, like, genuinely, let me, can you bleep names?
Yes.
So we have Annie / X niche, Ewan X niche, Daisy X niche, Soph X niche. And then I have, like, other random messages.
I'm gonna have to, like, also blur out, pixelate your mouth so people can't lip read.
Oh, will people actually be able to lip read? I don't think so.
Yeah, they will.
Funny though. I've had a lot of failed situationships, but
You haven't.
I haven't.
You've barely dipped your toe into
No, but
the single pool.
Raya's some fun.
You do love Raya, but you get, like, Love Islanders and footballers and, like, actual celebrities and stuff on there.
I'm really surprised you said footballers there, I can't lie.
Why?
Not many of them are footballers.
I mean, men that play with a ball, sports.
I never really meet them though.
No, but this is what I mean, like,
yeah.
it's Raya's international, isn't it? So it's not like
Yeah.
Tinder or Hinge or whatever, where it's someone who's 5 miles away from you. It's anyone in the world.
Yeah, so that's why I mean, a lot of them are actually in Scotland though. I just don't meet them. Actually, that's a lie.
We need to, like, use it to our benefit when we go to London.
Girl.
So we can go
So
back to
I'm meant to
Jimbo
be-
Law and...
Yeah. £20 a cocktail. That sounds cheap compared to Marbella.
That was a great... You'd never got to make the most of that night. You and Sophie left so early.
Wait.
And a group of guys put their entire bar... Like, told the bar to put our tab on theirs. So we did not pay for a single drink. You paid for your drinks, didn't you? Yeah.
And I was single.
Mm-hmm.
Very single.
And you were at the bar for about half an hour and then you left.
Yeah, because that day, oh my god, so that was the day after the Opoly event.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sophie had been to, oh my god, House of Sunny showroom. And, oh my god, guys, see when I say, like, I don't know if I've never really experienced being that hungover because I'm not a big drinker. But I don't know if I was hungover this day or if I hadn't eaten enough or what, but was it not really hot?
It was really hot. You didn't show up for the showroom that I arranged for you.
Babe, I was
and
ill.
you also cancelled the PR event that I got you guys to go to.
So what happened was I was in the taxi back from the House Sunny showroom, which was an hour taxi, by the way, because I could not face going on the tube that hot and unwell because we got the tube there. And I was literally spinning. I was absolutely spinning. I was like, I'm going to be sick. But I had a Wagamama and it fixed everything. That night, we were just done. We were so done in, and I think we were leaving early the next morning. Sorry, truly unrelated, guys. But I love Jimbo Law. How do you deal with burnout? You don't.
Yeah, I feel like when you're in that... Because I do think burnout is like a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And habits
Yeah.
that lead to it.
You need
There's
to
obviously,
cut
like,
the
circumstances
habits,
and things that create an environment that makes you burn out. But,
Yeah.
like, it's something that you actively need to break out of.
Yeah.
So for me, like I said earlier, my work stuff is in my office and my emails are in my office. I don't touch them. I don't take my work phone out when I'm not in working hours. So I don't see work stuff. Out of sight, out of mind does really help. I'm also trying to make more time for my own hobbies
Yeah.
and things that I want to do, even if it's just like playing Animal Crossing on my Nintendo Switch or drawing or editing YouTube videos and stuff. Because to me, like, my YouTube is not my job.
Yeah.
It was, but it's not. It's a hobby again
Yeah.
now. So if I want to sit on my computer and edit reels and TikToks and all that, that's fun for me. That's my hobby.
Yeah.
I can do that. But if I'm reviewing other creators' TikToks and
Right.
sending emails.
Yeah.
No, that's work.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like trying to keep that separate. Also, I used to take my laptop and like phone that to bed. Even if I'm like, if it's like 10 p.m, I'm like, might watch some YouTube or I might edit a video. No, I do not take my laptop in at all.
Right.
If I want to sit and watch TikToks until midnight, I will do that. But my laptop does not come in
Yeah.
my office anymore.
Yeah. That's...
And then I've also set up, I mean, it's not even like, I can't really set boundaries with like talent or other people, but more so like reminding myself that I don't need to take on other people's stresses and emotions and stuff. And when they come through, I kind of read it, process it and move on.
That's such a difficult thing to do, I find. Well, I'm finding it easier now, but I think that like that has always been something that I've just been like, if someone else is stressed about something, which it's so easily done to be stressed over something that like actually isn't that important. Like they could be stressed about something that they've kind of over exaggerated in their mind. Do you know what I mean?
Think about the things that we've stressed over before, or you've stressed over before. In like 2 weeks' time, it's not
Nothing,
even. It's absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I think though, like the one thing that's helped me like deal with burnout and get out of that routine of constantly being burnt out and overwhelmed is actually giving myself a functioning routine of like going to bed at 10, making sure I'm asleep by midnight, waking up at like 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning, getting up. I go for a walk with Cooper first thing in the morning usually. It's raining today, but first we go out and we do a 2-mile walk and we come home, and then I do my morning routine, and I will not pick up my work phone. I will not go on my work computer, nothing, until my routine's done. I will enjoy my breakfast. I will have a shower. I'll do my skincare. I'll get ready. And then when it comes to like 10:30, 11, jump onto my emails, check my emails, and then work for a few hours. Because the thing is, I have to keep reminding myself, I'm always like, I'll just check an email, I'll just have a look. I blink and it's 2.5 hours gone of, like, you end up in a cycle of like, I need to do this thing, or I remember I need to check this, or I need to do that. So creating that routine, and then also my end, I don't really have a set time where I finish work for the day, just when I feel like I can be finished. But when it comes to like, I'm hungry and I want my dinner, I'm done. I am not going back to work after I've had food, or so I work until I'm sort of hungry, or like I want to start prepping dinner. And then I do not think about or touch work until the next day, and then my weekend. So I have been practicing Monday to Friday routine, and Saturday, Sunday do not do anything work related.
I think the problem as well is something we've done is also set high expectations of like our availability. And that's not just to like our talent, that's just like in general, if that makes sense. And I know that like when I've worked at other like talent agencies like in previous years now, I know that I set like such a high standard for myself that you've got to make sure that it's going to continue to be attainable. What's the word? You have to make sure that's like a consistent thing that you can do. Like it's difficult because sometimes I've got loads of energy and I'm like, I can literally work from like 9 in the morning until 11 at night, like email all day, go to an event at night and still be answering emails when I get home. But if you continuously set the expectation or your standards to be so high for those that you work with, it can be a bit dangerous, I think, anyway. But I think that's why like we are getting to the point where we're starting to set the boundaries that we should have done a long time ago, if you know what I mean.
I feel like one thing as well, like when I was at uni, for example, and studying, I did photography and graphic design and all of that. So it wasn't like, for example, Cammie's uni course, which was like business and finance, where you go to your lectures, you do your lectures, and that's it. Like you have an exam at the end of the year, you might have some like weekly coursework or tests or like stuff to fill out, but that's it. Mine was all portfolio based, so we'd be expected to go to uni for full days or half days, so like 3 to 6, 7 hours 3 times a week. And then we get given a bunch of coursework, and 90% of the work you do is out with of those uni hours.
Right.
So you're actually at uni sitting in classes and in lectures and tutorials and working on stuff, and then you go home and you have to keep working on it. You have to make things. We'd have to like go and 3D print stuff, or go out and shoot for photography, and then go and get it all printed, and then spend hours in the labs like developing film and all this and that. And then when we go into class, we're presenting the work we've been doing out of class. So I got so into the habit of like, I'm working till 2 a.m. on my portfolio, I'm editing, I'm doing work, I'm illustrating, I'm putting together stuff, and then it's like research, and it's like between your first class and your second class, they'd be like, here's the brief and here's what to do when you get started in class. And then the next week's like, present us all your research. So I'd have to come in with a whole portfolio of like, this is my research, these are my sketches, here are my ideas. Like, all of that's done in my own personal hours, trying to work, have a social life, work a part-time job, do all of that. So it was almost like you're trained to work all the time out with, where Cammy would go to uni, come home, that's it, go out for drinks with his friends, or go to work, or play Xbox. It really prepares them for a 9 to 5. Like, it's that's it. But the benefit of that, I'd always be like, oh well, at least I don't have exams. It's like, well, I got to finish uni 2 weeks before everyone else because I didn't have an exam. But like, realistically, like, I spent all my time, like
your whole year working.
My entire year working, and it's your whole grade and your mark is on that thing. So you're trying to make it as good as possible, because if you fail, and you would only have like 2 or 3 different assignments throughout one term, but it's like a lot of work you need to do, and you'd have 3 classes, so you'd have 3 different assignments going on at the same time for 3 different things. Like, I would doing web design for one class, then like an actual 3D printed like book covers and stuff for another, and then like essays for the other. So it was like constantly so much going on, that I just never shut off, and it was normal. Like, I don't know about you at uni, but like it was so common at Napier. We have the Kilby suite, which is like the computing suite. Everyone would go to the Kilby instead of the library, because there's like hundreds and thousands of laptops and all of that. You go and you sit and you'd work there, study. So everyone would go to the Kilby, and it was so normal. Then the night before a presentation was due, you'd pull an overnight at the Kilby.
Really?
So you'd go to your class from like 10 till 4. People might go home and change, some people might stay. You'd order Domino's or like get food delivered to the Kilby. You'd sit there, and then literally a class is at 10 the next day. I've gone into class and everyone's like, oh, we're meeting in the Kilby before because like Jack and Ollie have pulled an all-nighter there putting their work together. And you walk into, everyone's got all their like artwork laid out, and they're like, yeah, so I spent the last night doing it. They're there at 2 and 3 in the morning working on this the night before a hand in. That was normal.
I mean, I know I've never pulled an all-nighter. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, this is where I think that, like, I'm not as... I mean, this is because my attitude to uni, it's not the same with work. But if I got to that point of I was working at 3 in the morning...
Yeah.
And I was tired, and I would hand in what I had done, and I would not finish it. But that's really bad when we do that. Well, I didn't turn up to my creative degree, or any of my degree, so...
Yeah, like, if you did not show up to my course, you would get an email saying that you would need to leave the course.
Well, this
because
is the
it's
thing.
all attendance.
It's crazy, but I suppose it's a different type of thing. Like, I did my essays, I did my assignments, my presentations.
Well, yeah, like, if you did all your work and didn't show up for class... the lecturers would be like, well, you're not learning anything in the class, and you're not understanding the direction of stuff needs to go. A lot of design courses and stuff, it's all collaborative, so you're speaking to your course mates. There's a lot of group projects. You could not submit a group project individually, but it was all presentations. Like, if you submitted on Moodle or whatever it is, your final presentation, and you didn't go and submit it, automatic fail. So it's a different course. All these all-nighters and everything, I just feel like that drilled into me, like, this is normal.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So when I'm trying to run my business and get it up, I'm working the same way that I did when I was at uni.
Yeah, I get you. That's really, really not right. But I know that so many people are like that. Like, I've got a friend that does architecture, so, like, it's the similar creative design thing. And he's up literally, like, all night. I will message him at 8 in the morning, after messaging him at 11 the night before, and he's not slept the whole time, and he's been working, and I'm just like...
Like, it is so common.
That's why people go above and beyond for
Yeah, because
internships
you're
and
you're
stuff.
sort of drilled into it. Like you need to overperform, otherwise like
Yeah.
there's going to be 15 other people behind you waiting to take your place, sort of thing.
Well, I've
So
been told
if
that.
you don't jump through
Yeah.
hoops, then
Yeah.
you're not really worth it.
So I think that happens a lot in jobs. Like, that has been literally said to me before. If you don't do this, there's other people will get to do your job. We're not, like...
Which is quite a horrible thing to say.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody knows. I mean, we speak about all the time. It's so hard to get into this this industry of like talent management and influencer stuff, because there's not really any entry level jobs, and then there's not many companies that do it. So it's like finding a needle in a haystack, trying to find any opportunity. And once you're in, like, it's a known thing of like, if you can't do this or if you're not good enough, there's 100 other people behind
They'll
you
exploit
waiting.
someone else.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like it just, the whole hustle culture and grind mindset, it goes hand in hand with it. Like, you're expected to overperform.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm now someone now who I'm like, I would rather like set lower expectations and overperform
Yeah.
than underdeliver.
Yeah.
You know, like
Totally get you.
promise you the world and then not be able to give you it. But when you're trying to please and people please and to show them what you can do, you usually want to
100%,
try and go above and beyond, or be like, I can do all of this, and then if you can't live up to it,
It's... Yeah.
you burn yourself out trying to.
Yeah. 100% I've been in that situation. It's not good. I think something that I've definitely done recently as well is like to outsource. So,
Yes.
and I've said this from the beginning of my business. You're obviously in a situation where you work alongside your sister, but I am very cautious of employing someone that and not being able to... I don't know, I don't want to put a lot of severe stress or pressure on anyone, and I also don't want to exploit anyone. So something that I have done instead of getting one person to do all these extra jobs is I have got different people, freelancers, doing different things for me, like social, like organising the social pages, or for example an accountant, rather than having people actually employed. I prefer to kind of go, because I think the thing is as well is, I don't know if I'm explaining this very well, but do you not find a lot of the time agencies or just companies in general, brands, they take someone on who is maybe specialises in one thing, but they do expect them to do everything. Like, that happened to me. Like, I was doing, my main job was meant to be like a talent manager, but the amount of other things that I was doing, which is fine within reason. Do you know what I mean? But that's just that's how I'm running things.
I saw
so far.
like someone who I went to uni with, but was in like a different year to me in photography, post on Twitter recently about how they can't even get a photography degree. Like, to get this job you need to have a photography degree. They can't even apply for it because they're like, it's for a photography job, but you also need to be a copywriter, you need to do all the marketing in-house, you need to do all the graphics and illustrations. And I've seen TikToks and stuff of people who get hired into like a social media role, and then they have boomers coming to them being like, so we're doing a full like rebrand for the business, and they're like, that's great. And they're like, yeah, so can you put together like a mood board and like sketches and ideas? And they're like, I'm not a graphic designer. Like, well, you would have to hire someone for that.
This is the thing. I think that when people employ, especially young people, and they expect them to do all these different things, when you think how much you would charge a photographer, or a photographer would charge you, sorry, for like a day shoot, you're looking at like what could be someone's monthly wage.
Yeah.
And that's why they get
that much.
Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, it's a bit nuts.
It is crazy. Like,
but they expect people to do everything. Like, you're expected to be a professional photographer, videographer, video editor, photo editor, whilst, like you say, copywriting, scheduling social posts,
doing all their marketing,
maybe managing an influencer whilst you're at it, and then organising an event as well. and doing their invoices. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, it's like, ugh. But it's becoming so normal. And I think that's why so many people are burnt out. For us, obviously, as the owner of our businesses, we do all those things. We have to have a hand in each.
Yeah, but we've chosen to do that.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For most other situations, it's...
They don't.
Yeah, you don't really get to choose. It's like, this is you can take it or leave it, that's it.
Yeah, because like you say, they'll just say someone else will do it.
You're like Ariel, like brushing her hair with a fork. See a claw clip.
Yeah, do we have anything else to say on that?
No.
Don't really think so.
I think that's it.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
Probably be good for another month now. No, we're actually trying to record more, so
Yeah.
you will get another episode next week.
Yeah, you will.
So make sure you're following the talent managers so that you get notified every time we post a new episode and you don't miss out. You can find us on all your streaming platforms where you can usually listen to podcasts, as well as on YouTube for videos.
What she said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go eat some sushi now.
See you guys.
Bye.